In 1994, Japan ceased all vaccinations in any child under 24 months, and their infant mortality rate dropped by a whopping 96%. Alcohol abuse. Gascoigne 20 and then 47. Marijuana abuse. Snoop Dogg, I think, 20 and 47. Little known fact. The more polluted your physical body, alcohol, GMOs, fluoride, meat, dairy, pesticides, the weaker the connection with your soul higher self, and the harder it will be to manifest your dreams and desires into existence. It has been documented that the more cleansed your physical body is, the stronger the connection you will have, the more enhanced your abilities will be to create your own reality, and the quality of life drastically improves. Now, I always wondered why, whenever you downloaded an app or anything like that, they're always pushing this Google Chrome crap on you. Well, guess what? Google Chrome's web browser has become spy software. Google Chrome is essentially spy software, according to the Washington Post tech columnist Jeffrey Fowler, who spent a week analysing the popular browser and concluded that it looks a lot like surveillance software. Fowler has since switched to Mozilla's Firefox because of its default privacy settings, and says that it was easier than one might imagine. My tests of Chrome versus Firefox unearthed personal data caper of abused proportions. In a week of web surfing on my desktop, I discovered 11,189 requests for tracker cookies that Chrome would have ushered it right onto my computer, but were automatically blocked by Firefox. These little files are the hooks that data firms, including Google itself, use to follow the website you visit, so they can build profiles on your interests, income and personality. Chrome welcome trackers even at websites that you would think would be private. I watched Atina and the Federal Student Aid website set cookies for Facebook and Google. They surreptitiously told the data giants every time I pulled up the insurance and loan service login pages. And that's not the half of it. Look in the upper right corner of Chrome browser. See a picture of a name in the circle. If so, you've logged into the browser, and Google might be tapping into your web activity to target ads. Don't recall signing in? I didn't either. Chrome recently started doing that automatically when you use Gmail. Meanwhile, Chrome is even worse when it comes to mobile devices. Reporting the precise location of Android user location sharing is turned off, in which case it will send out your rough coordinates. Everything to do with Google is spyware, because there is their bit of shit. Teenager is spared detention after leaving baby with 7 broken bones because he could not stop the child crying. Now, yeah, we're supposed to forgive and all that sort of thing, but what Jordan Lawton, 18, should have gotten was 27 broken bones as payment. And then, because he's beaten up a baby, a defenseless little kid, and this wanker walks free. But you know, you have you do a motoring offence, you can get to jail, but you can beat a kid up. How corrupt is the judicial system? We will find out later. Jordan Lawton, 18, has been sentenced to 10 months in Young Offenders Institute, suspended for 18 months by a Stoke-on-Trent court judge. The teenager broke multiple bones in a baby's body, including both legs. He threw a PlayStation controller at the top when he could not stop it crying, Aged 16 at the time, Lawton has now accepted responsibility for all the injuries. A teenager who got angry and broke a baby's legs, ribs and foot after he could not stop the tot crying has escaped jail. Jordan Lawton, 18, squeezed the child's chest and threw a PlayStation controller at its foot, a judge at Stoke-on-Trent Crown Court heard. The abuse, which happened when Lawton was 16 years old, left the baby with 4 broken ribs, 2 broken legs and a broken foot. And he wants the same doing to him, only times it by 9. Man killed himself after being repeatedly underpaid universal credit. Depopulation. A man took his own life after struggling to get enough money while receiving universal credit following his father's death, his grieving family claim. Sean Doherty, 37, suffered with depression after the death of his dad, also called Sean, 69, last July, who he had been a carer for. His family claim he was repeatedly underpaid his universal credit payments following confusion over a carer's allowance he received when his dad was still alive. Universal credit, the latest depopulation weapon that the wanking bastard government are trying to use against us all. And it's alright saying I'm not on them so it doesn't matter, because the way these bastards are going, you will be on it soon and then you'll be doing it yourself, topping yourself because of them. Unless we stand up, take these bastards and hold them to account. Britain's worst mum, Karen Matthews, gets job as a carer but leaves it just weeks after getting too close to elderly client's husband. Karen Matthews, 44, from Yorkshire, was the carer for an elderly and frail couple who she met at church. She was paid to cook and clean for a woman, but was sacked after she got too close to her husband. Matthews was jailed in 2008 for faking the high-profile kidnapping of her 8-year-old daughter, Shannon. The UK's worst mother, Karen Matthews, was given a job as a carer before being forced to leave because she was getting too close to her frail client's elderly husband. And we all know what that means. Matthews, who was jailed in 2008 for faking the kidnapping of her 8-year-old daughter, Shannon, was employed by the elderly couple after they took pity on her. The 44-year-old mother of 7 from Yorkshire met the couple in church and they took pity on her, giving her a job. They paid her to cook and clean after the woman, 65, had a hospital stay and was unable to look after herself properly. However, Matthews was sacked just weeks later because her elderly charge thought she was getting too close to her husband. Indian government says US causing global warming or climate change with weaponized antenna network. They're talking about the HARP array. HARP, a controversial US Army Forces program, may be capable of inducing droughts, fog or disrupting communications and radar systems in enemy countries. And of course enemy countries includes the USA, the UK. New Delhi. India has cautioned that the controversial high-frequency active auroral research program, HAARP, developed by the US could be causing global warming, replying to question raised by a parliamentarian. Anil Dev, India's Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, said the US has developed a type of weapon called HARP. HARP is an advanced model of a super powerful ionosphere heater which may cause the globe to warm and have a global warming effect. According to the website of the University of Alaska, where further research on HARP is going on, the US Air Force built and operated a world-class ionospheric research facility for HARP located in Gakona, Alaska from 1990 to 2013. It's still being used. The Air Force and the university negotiated an agreement responsibility for the facilities and equipment formally transferred from military to the university on August 12, 2015. Describing the function of the highly controversial weapons program, there you go, it's a weapons program just like 5G. Dave further stated that HARP strikes the upper atmosphere, ionosphere, with a focused steerable electromagnetic beam. The website of University of Alaska states, depending on the height within the ionospheric where the effect is originally produced, these effects are no longer detectable after times ranging from less than a second to 10 minutes. One of the other weapons platforms they've got to try and depopulate the planet. Owner trained assistant dog Cole and loving boy Toby to be killed. Help save my boys. Thank you all in advance for viewing this page and leaving any comments that you have. Also thank you for sharing and liking. I need as much help and support as I can get. This is a petition dedicated to my boys in a huge attempt to save their lives and put an end to all the lies that have told by a few whilst acting in concert and with corrupt police and their partners. Well, the police corrupt? Well, they could have knocked me over with a feather. I guess I should really start by telling you a bit about myself. My name's Kimberly Bath, and some of you may remember me from a YouTube site I had in 2013 that helped to highlight police abuse in Falkirk upon a disabled girl. That girl was me. The Sun newspaper reported by Jim Davis, published on 07 March 2013, and the Falkirk Herald reported a shamed cop is facing the boot after he admitted failing to his duty to protect life by urging a vulnerable woman to kill herself, her own mother. Anyway, that was in 2013. I have to say it took 4.5 years for the same police force he worked for to act and actually get him into court. This was only achieved once we went public on social media. Since then, life has been made very difficult indeed for myself and my career. And we have been hounded out of our off address after address, attacked and abused by all, and now they are putting the focus on my boys and planning to kill them, all because we spoke out about child abuse. Links in the description. I strongly suggest you go and have a look at this. You all understand what just happened with Iran, right? Deep state hits 2 tankers and then shoots down an American drone, which is an act of war. President Trump calls Pelosi Schumer into his office and details the American response to them, which is retaliation using military force. Pelosi and Schumer celebrate outside the Trump's office, captured on film, because they are deep state and they finally dragged Trump into war. Minutes before the military operation was to launch, President calls off the mission off. Why? Pelosi Schumer left his office and contacted Brennan, who alerted the operatives in Iran to the location of the strike, so they could move as many women and children into the hit zone as possible. Once all this played out and President had it all recorded, President called off the strike. Iranian lawyer who defended woman's right to remove hijab gets 38 years and 148 lashes. After 2 trials described by Amnesty International as grossly unfair, Iranian human rights lawyer Nasrin Sotoudeh has been sentenced to a 38 years in prison and 148 lashes. The EU has destroyed some of our most prosperous industries and will continue to do so. 6 years ago, Sir Mervyn King, now Lord King, who was then the Governor of the Bank of England, was in his office having a conversation with a visitor. Sir Mervyn is normally a mild-mannered and rather academic man, but he was beginning to get cross. The Frenchman standing in front of him was threatening to restrict the Bank of England's powers to fix the capital rules for our banks. The EU's a dictatorship, plain and simple. Now this won't be a shock to most of you. Fraud by UK judges in the UK. Now this is a long document, the link's in description, but basically all judges are fraudulent, and what's more, they're traitors and treasonous. They are attempting to bring in the new world order and bringing, of course, a dictatorship at the same time. Every single one of them needs to be sorted out. Links in description. US government loses landmark vaccine lawsuit. Forced vaccinations now can be legally stopped. No quality control for 32 years. Wide ramifications for Australia. Vaccine injury lawyer Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Del Bigtree, producer of the suppressed anti-vaccine documentary Vaxxed and the Informed Consent Action Group, ICAN, are credited with this victory. They demanded the relevant government documents proving that all federally approved vaccines had been tested for quality over the past 32 years, and there were none. Not one single test has been done. Here are the huge legal and practical implications in this legal victory for the American people. The rest links in description as usual. 47 migrants intercepted by Border Force off Kent coast. Border Force agents have intercepted dozens of migrants off the Kent coast as they attempt to cross the English Channel into Britain. Authorities said some 74 people, including several children, were found on 8 vessels on Saturday morning. 8 men wrapped in blankets next to an inflatable dinghy were spotted in Winchester Beach. Charlie Elphrick, the Conservative MP for Dover and Deal, said that the incident would mark a record number of boats arriving in a single day. Last month, 140 migrants were found trying to cross the Channel. This was the highest number since Sajid Javid, the Home Secretary, delayed a major incident in December. Mr. Javid said the number of migrants attempting to cross the Channel was deeply concerning and that he was speaking with the counterparts in France about it. Those who choose to make this dangerous journey across one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world are putting their lives in grave danger and will continue to do all we can to stop them, he said. The lying bastard! He's inviting them in. Come here, you get benefits. You won't get any assessments. No, you just get straight. Oh, and we've got houses for you. That's what's really going on. Porn raid on former social worker uncovers stolen case files on abuse victims. Children. Stolen case files on abused children were found during a police raid on a former social worker. Officers swooped on Anthony O'Donoghue's home as part of a probe into child sex porn ring. But they also found official documents providing details of sexual abuse victims. The confidential files involving youngsters who were under supervision of the now defunct Strathclyde Regional Council Social Work Department and dated back to the 80s and early 90s. O'Donoghue, 62, stole the paperwork while he was temporary care officer between 1988 and 2006. Police discovered a stash of illegal images during the search at his home in Rainford in March. Officials in Glasgow City Council Social Work Department, criminal bastards, were unaware of the files were missing. Of course they were. During his employment, O'Donoghue's worked at Windlaw Aged Persons Home in Glasgow, Castlemilk and other offices around the city. Police came to search his home in belief that he had child porn DVDs on the property. It's thought he was identified as someone who had child porn due to purchase he made online. A Canadian-based website sold DVDs marketed as being naturist films, but many featured underage boys. Authorities are now investigating the site, which has now been closed. If it's anything to do with government, you know they're corrupt and paedophiles. Speaking of such, Bush, Clinton, CIA, cocaine, crack and US government drug dealing. The ruling elite is mafia. We all knew that. George Bush, Jeb Bush, Bill, Hillary Clinton is the mafia. They run the cocaine industry. They should be in prison. US government are drug dealing criminals and fascists. There is much to read about how the US government, Clinton's, Bush and CIA criminal drug dealing. The US government is a cocaine mafia. They invade poor countries, fund local militia and use military conflicts to hide the drug trade. When Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas, he helped the CIA to establish themselves there with criminal activities. The Mena airport has been used by the CIA for secret drug operations for a long time. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, CIA, cocaine smuggling, Jeb Bush, George Bush, the secret life of Bill Clinton, Jeb Bush VP, George Hackett, Walker Bush, and CIA drug smuggler Barry Seal. Jeb Bush, Barry Seal murder, George Bush, Barry Seal cocaine, Gary Webb murder by CIA. The links just go on and on and on and on and on. The link's in the description if you want the full info on that. Israel, root cause of world instability, says Dr. M. Kuala Lumpur Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mathia Mohammed today once again described Israel as a terrorist nation and the root of cause of all instability in the world. Addressing youth and the El Shak Annual Conference 2019 here, the majority of whom are from Middle East countries, the 93-year-old leader stressed that the time had come for the international community to stand together and end Israel's occupation of Palestine. Apartheid, genocide, crime against humanity, crimes of aggression, and all the evil that mankind can inflict on others can be compiled in Palestine, courtesy of the barbaric, arrogant terrorist nation called Israel. Until and unless the international community is committed to finding a solution to bring an end to the occupation of the land belonging to the Palestinians, the region and the rest of the world will not have much of a chance of stability and order, he said in his keynote address before opening the conference held the first time in Malaysia. His statement led to overwhelming applause from the 1,000 participants. Describing Palestine as the core of all tragedies, he said the world was not stable and neither did it look like to be for the near future. Dr. Mahmar said, the senseless murder of innocent people continued in the invasion of Afghanistan and Iraq by the US-led coalition terrorists in 2001-2003, which had seen more turmoil and stability in the region before the Arab Spring came about. Nations like Syria, Libya and Yemen today provide images of a human tragedy whilst the rest of the world watch helplessly. Their suffering did not originate from internal strife, but rather interference and interventions from external powers, which obviously were doing it out of self-interest disguised under the veil of democracy and human rights, he said. The Prime Minister said the ancient civilizations or rather these cradles of civilization, were pummeled to pulp by present-day powers that have styled themselves as the leaders of modern-day civilization. There is nothing civilized in their actions or behaviour. The only thing they can showcase is technology capable of producing weaponry that are extremely efficient in maiming, killing and murdering people by the thousands, he said. Malaysia is the case. In this case, he shared that as a multicultural, multiracial and multi-regional country, it took pride that it had been able to move forward despite the diversity, although he admitted that Malaysia has had its knocks and falls due to the interference differences, but it also had managed to turn them into strengths and reasons for unity. Mirror. Lay off our Phil. Pels defend Schofield. 2.4 million taxpayers foot bill for Meghan Harry home. These parasites it's got to stop. It's just got to stop. Race for number 10 shambles. Boris and girlfriend stage pick in bid to show they're in love. The flaunt private life while he dodges public TV debates. 4 million Tory donor demands he comes clean about the row. What a carry on. Metro. Keep calm and carry on. Seems to be the thing in all the papers, so you know it's propaganda. Photo emoji of Boris gazing lovingly at the girlfriend as he defends his silence over 999 row. Rival Hunt brands him Boris the bottler after snubbed Sky forced to call off debate. Aye, Parasites Harry and Meghan home cost taxpayers 2.4 million. But don't worry, because it's not like we've got people on the street or starving. Oh wait, we have, because of these parasitical scum. Johnson breaks his silence but refuses to discuss his loved ones. Why should he? Tory frontrunner declines to explain why police were called to home in BBC interview. Former Foreign Secretary says he had made it a rule never to discuss family. Campaign team releases photograph of Johnson with partner Carrie Symonds. Bid to get leadership bid back on track after Hunt calls him bottler. Living next door to Carrie, Simon Keller on why good neighbours have helped the nation. Yeah, bollocks. Exploring Bermuda's undersea mountains, and there's a undersea pyramid there as well. Sex offences go unsolved on railways. US targets Iran's supreme leader with sanctions. Best gas barbecues. Telegraph. Boris tries to keep the show on the road. Voters only care whether I deliver, says leadership contender as he defends privacy. It's not leadership contender who's been pre-picked because they've got him something on him so that he does exactly as he's told. Picture pianist, 1,000 words, but raises many more questions. 90s generation told to clean up their act. Fast food tax cuts for salad alongside kebabs. Veterans with PTSD to excavate Waterloo. Dry outlook for fans in one stand at Lord's. The Guardian. Johnson planned media blitz as Hunt calls him bottler. Privately executed, retain grip on elite jobs. Not surprising really, is it? Frontrunner plans series of public appearances amid mounting criticism. We deserve an explanation about that row and he has to hand... This is just bullshit. Iran tensions, Trump orders fresh set of sanctions. The Times. Cowardly Johnson launches fight back. Frontrunner refuses to address girlfriend row. One instant coffee a day can help you to lose weight. Really? The parasitical scum. The picture. Parental leave barrier. Yeah. Facebook regulations. 16.5 million Harrods bill. US sanctions on Iran. Investigators take charge. Newcastle unrest. Express. Storms then Britain to roast it in heatwave. Really? Don't look like it today. Taxpayers 2.4 million bill for Harry and Meghan's home. Parasitical scum. Exclusive. Rees-Mogg blasts left-wing mob trying to wreck Johnson's bid to become Prime Minister. Time to stop the war on Boris. Dame Judi Dench, how I cope with losing my eyesight. Daily Fail. As he still refuses to discuss that row with lover, Boris and the Mills and Boone scene that takes us all for fools. Your 2.4 million bill to do up Meghan and Harry's cottage. Revealed house at 6 splashed out the new bathroom, bedroom and kitchen. It's great when you're not paying, you can splash out on whatever you want, can't you? Because they are parasites after all. The scum. Navy pilot in chimney. Don't know what that's about. Cottage refurb bill. Harry's 2.4 million home makeover. Love I'll you in race and all funded by taxpayers. Now, because this is in the papers, it's like they want you to hate them. Well, I don't hate them. I just dislike what they do and what they get away with. Waste of paper. Feels agony. 60-hour killing stonewalling. BBC brainwash row. They don't like it up 'em. TV boss blames Dad's army for Brexit. Oh, piss off you. This shit paper. Cunning new plan. Yuan let's rip. I hope it wants a smelly. FT. Trump raises stakes with fresh sanctions on Iran's supreme leader. New executive order move more likely to be seen as provocative. More curbs to come. Johnson's tax plans would cost 20 billion and risk plunging austerity, says IFS. Almost finally. My whole life has been a lie. The correct spelling is school, S-C-H-O-O-L. School, some people put the second O before the first O, which is absolutely wrong. Listen, if drunk me said or did something, you've got to take it up with drunk me. Don't come to sober me, because we weren't there, we don't know what happened. That is so true. According to recent studies, blowjobs are the healthiest breakfast, as it comes with a sausage, 2 nuts and a protein shot. Stay healthy, girls. Suck a dick. Yes, the planet got destroyed, but for a beautiful moment in time, we created a lot of value for shareholders. Not everything you enjoy is good. Apart from in this case, of course.